seized from the people of Southeast extraction till today. That was simultaneously followed up by the indigenization decree. And of course, that was done when the Igbos couldn't even participate in any of it. Then you had the abandoned property decree. All these were booby traps set in the road for the Igbo man who had willingly and willfully accepted the 3 R's at the end of the war, the so-called reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. It is funny, as a witness and as a young man after the war, we watched the reconstruction, instead of happening in Igbo land, happening everywhere else. The Igbos had to build back themselves. Most of us recall we went to school immediately at the end of the war with blocks as chairs and tables. Both at the University of Nigeria and Nsukka and all secondary schools and elementary schools. That was the pitiful situation at the end of the war. It was also followed again by the refusal to absorb our people who had gone away due to the killings and etc. They had to run for their dear lives, no longer stay on. At the end of the war, most of them were not reabsorbed back into the civil service, army, police, customs, you name it. Many. In fact, the Igbos have not taken the full record whether those who died when the war was over, out of hopelessness and total helplessness, were not almost equal to those who died in the shooting game. I recall a grand old man who I saw collapsed at the train station in Enugu here at the end of the war. His properties were all in Dhaka, was declared abandoned. He was given £20 on his way coming down, trying to come to the headquarters of his bank here in Enugu, from his rural village from which he came out during the war. He collapsed and died right here at the Ndigbo train station. These are samples of what our people. There is no gainsaying the current policies that are intentionally put in place to keep our people totally out of all decision-making areas of the government. However, we cannot sit back and just continue idolizing the past and licking our wounds. We must move forward. There is no doubt in my mind that the ingenuity of our people is what has kept them going. As I said in a discussion to Anambra State Development Union almost 20 years ago, I think it must have been either 2009 or the year 2000, I said to them, listen, this nonsense of people sitting back on their oars, you know, and fantasizing or romanticizing on Dr. M.I. Opara, Namdi Azikiwe, or Ikemba name, should cease. It is good to remember our heroes past. Yeah, but For those of us who are alive, we are the present and the future. What is our plan? Move our people forward. Are we going to be stuck on the past? There are, yes, a lot of things done to our people. So many people have talked about it. I recall, I think it was Sanusi who said that, okay, let's take it that it's an Igbo coup or whatever. That for one Amadou Bello, one Sadauna, and one Akintola, millions were killed, and millions are still being killed. And yet you insist and want to say that we are one country. How can that be when a Southeasterner knows that he does not have in the body politics of Nigeria the same rights as other citizens? It is time for the fraud to stop. It is time for us to develop what might be called a new charter for Ndigbo. I call it a new charter because I was reviewing the other day, wondering that since you can call the military era, I call them the locust years for the Igbo man. We were not in charge of ourselves. We never ruled any of our states, nothing. It was a period where we had no say on the statutory allocation, on whatever allocations, how it was done, etc., to the states and etc. By default or by fault or whatever, they have put in a fake constitution, which of course, as the leader of NCA, I had constituted a meeting when I saw nobody was talking about this stuff, and held a series of meetings with a lot of Igbo organizations, of which a resolution was come up. We came up with a resolution. There were about 11 or 13 Igbo bodies there, where they actually advanced the way forward. One of the major problems of this country is the constitution. There is nowhere this country is going to go to with a constitution.
You have 5 more minutes.
Yeah, with a constitution made by a group of 4 men in one dark corner in one room, and they print on top of it the people. You know. However, like you said, I have 4 minutes. I'll summarize quickly the way forward. Yes. As in our place, I'll use an Igbo adage. As in Ilo Karia, Apajabelo for the Maya.
Yes.
Definitely, we cannot do this all on our own. And that is what the younger generation must realize. There was a joke of Paracrat one day during the, I think, 80-something, during the campaign. He said, first food, no be food. But second food, a proper foolish.
Yeah, well, I remember.
You know, so if we made a mistake, 67 to 70, by going alone, wouldn't we be so foolhardy and stupid to be trying to go alone again? And the younger generations have to understand that. We have to create an alliance of what I call an alliance of the willing.
That's right.
I call it an alliance of the willing because you cannot have an alliance with somebody who is not willing to have an alliance with you.
That's right.
However, in the body politics of Nigeria, a lot of changes have occurred. This is not 1970. This is not 1967. We are in the year 2020. People have come awake. Some very backward areas have become a little bit educated. And some people are beginning to ask questions. The other day, there was a handshake across the Niger. What are we doing to build on it? What are we doing to build on the relationship between ourselves and our brothers here, east of the Niger? Meaning our South-South brothers, not only the Southwest. Today, the Middle Belt is up in arms virtually. We are experiencing, by jihadists and etc., the sacking of all their villages. What are we doing? Discuss and form alliances that are meaningful. I have always maintained for those who have told me Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency, I told them, listen, sit down. Igbo presidency is a eunuch. I am sorry. Jonathan was president for 5 years. What could he do? The South-South. Couldn't even build a road going to Otueke, his village. What happened to our east-west road? Let's just start with those few ones. Let's not even go deeper into the whole thing. Most of it, when it comes to the House of Assembly, by the loaded dice that you are given, it gets killed. So how do you think you are going to operate on this? We require a coming together of the willing, an association of the willing, to turn this country around and restructure it for the betterment of all. Where that fails, then I believe it is your tent, O Israel, as they would say.
That's right. So, in summary, you want us to form alliance with other willing ethnic regions and try to save Nigeria by restructuring. And if that fails, then to attend full Israel. That's your summary.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. You will have more questions when time for questioning comes. Many people are going to fire their questions.
Of course, I'm here and waiting.
We go to General Ihekira. If he has not come, then
he's having issues with his.
Yeah, he's on.
It's on now. Yeah.
He on?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally.
Can you hear me?
General, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, General, we can hear you.
There's a heavy rain here.
Sorry, but we can hear you.
There's a big rain.
Yes. We can hear you.
But we can hear you. Go ahead, General.
Let me.
Thank you.
Can I ask question, please? Can I ask question?
It's not yet time for question.
Okay.
Let's take all the discussions. Let's take all the submissions before. Just write down your questions so you will not forget.